This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
Good evening, everyone. The Tasmanian Energy Security Task Force has set down a raft of recommendations to ensure the state doesn't run the risk of another energy crisis. It's proposing the independent monitoring of Hydro Tasmania's water storages with a rigorous management framework. The state government is supporting the recommendations with a look towards our state's self-sufficiency.
The Basslink outage of 2015 caused chaos for the state's energy security. Tasmania unable to import energy across the cable as Hydro Tasmania's water storages ran critically low. The task force established to ensure another energy crisis is avoided has released its final report, focusing on the management of those water storages.
Energy security is the role of government, and setting water storages should be explicitly something which the government does.
The task force makes 36 recommendations, including the strengthening of independent monitoring and assessment of water storages, likely by the economic regulator, to determine the optimal water storage levels in a changing environment.
The regulator would be doing that and then recommending to government that the government's risk appetite could be reflected in a different curve.
New modelling with more conservative rainfall assumptions to ensure dam levels don't reach a crisis point.
They've now been restored, and in fact we're currently operating in excess of even the revised, more conservative, prudent levels.
The storage management they've come up with is exactly what we've already been implementing over the last 12 months.
The retention of the gas-fired Tamar Valley Power Station seen as important unless there's new energy generation or a second interconnector. New on-island generation recommended to fill Tasmania's self-sufficiency deficit.
We are committed to making Tasmania 100% renewable energy self-sufficient.
Already at 93% renewable power generation, 2 new wind farms underway is expecting to bring the state almost in line with the government's 2022 target as pumped hydro continues to be considered.
A really positive statement of intent from the Liberals that follows up on green policy, but what we need to see now from the Liberals is some detail.
It's a shame it took an energy crisis for them to make some decisions about taking action in this space.
A timeline of October is set down for the implementation of the recommendations. Jacqueline Robson, Southern Cross News.
The government is continuing its campaign against TasWater, criticising it for a crackdown on wastewater emissions from businesses. The council-owned company says it's just enforcing environmental regulations.
As the water wars continue, TasWater today fired another shot, announcing $40 million worth of contracts to upgrade current services.
By the time we finish, nearly 50 towns across Tasmania will have had upgraded water supplies.
The government says the upgrades are too late as it progresses laws through Parliament to take over the council-owned company.
The infrastructure is deteriorating quicker than it can be replaced. That's why we need to accelerate the program. That's why the state government needs to take control and get on with the job.
The Treasurer is also taking aim at TasWater's crackdown on so-called trade waste, the liquid emissions from businesses.
We are hearing from businesses all around the state that TasWater's approach to this is putting their businesses in jeopardy.
From a lot of the small businesses, you would get lots of fats and oils, and they can in fact cause your pipes to break or to block.
TasWater says the processing of this waste comes at a cost, and the businesses that generate them should foot the bill.
There is no reason why households should be subsidising these businesses by having to incur greater costs because businesses are not paying their fair share.
What businesses in Tasmania are telling me is that TasWater has a one-size-fits-all approach, that they are an inhibitor to business as opposed to an enabler.
The government's takeover plans still need to get through the upper house. Michael Breen, Southern Cross News.
Huon Aquaculture says an international symposium on salmon farming could bring an end to ongoing frustration within the industry. The company claims a bipartisan approach and industry collaboration is necessary to uphold community trust in the sector.
I'm more than happy to debate our industry, but it needs to be professional, not political, and it needs to be based on science, not slogans. It's important that we learn from the experience of other salmon growing regions and we listen to the experts and scientists.
The proposed event would be hosted by the Institute of Marine and Antarctic Studies and held later this year. Both political parties and those within the industry support the plan. A third person has been charged with perverting justice in relation to the Sue Neil-Fraser case. Neil-Fraser is appealing her conviction for murdering her partner Bob Chappell. It's alleged a 51-year-old man from Sandy Bay deliberately influenced a witness to manufacture evidence. Police say they received information alleging a possible conspiracy to pervert justice by providing false evidence in support of her case for appeal. Police say a number of people are being investigated. An acquaintance of 6 Tasmanians accused of kidnapping and assaulting a Victorian man for money say a baton pictured in forensic photos belongs to him. During the Supreme Court trial, which began 2 weeks ago, it's been alleged one of the accused, Sean Richardson, used a baton to hit the alleged victim. Witness Ricky Williams today told the court he carried his baton everywhere with him and had done so the week of the alleged kidnapping. All 6 accused have pleaded not guilty to all charges. The trial continues tomorrow. Young Tasmanians are leading a push to ensure all 18-year-olds are enrolled to vote ahead of the postal plebiscite on same-sex marriage. Scott Oakburn College Year 12 student Lachlan Hines is leading the Enrol to Vote campaign at his school, helping others fill out their enrolment forms.
We really do need to be having a say on the decisions that are being made because they will affect us now into the future. They'll affect our children, our grandchildren and so on. So it is important that our opinions, our needs are being met and being heard.
In 2013, only around 50% of 18-year-olds were enrolled to vote. Australians have until next Thursday to enrol before the postal plebiscite. A crash has caused some disruption in Hobart late this afternoon. One lane of Cascade Road in South Hobart was blocked, with police manually directing traffic around the scene. Police say there aren't believed to have been any serious injuries as a result of the crash. After accomplishing what is believed to be an Australian first in horse racing, apprentice jockey Tegan Boram is setting her sights on the country's biggest races. The 21-year-old Tasmanian achieved the extraordinary on the weekend, riding home her first ever winner and then backing it up with 3 more, all on the same day.
This horse-riding rookie has made an instant impression. Tegan Boram jockeyed for the first time only 7 weeks ago. But on Sunday at Sprayton, Boram went from zero to hero, riding home a quartet of winners on the same day, including one in the main race.
Katun coming after Rougeau in front. It's Tegan's day.
Yeah, I was very nervous. I was sitting in the jockey's room. Half the girls said to me, "Oh, you're very quiet today, Tegan." So I said, "Oh, yeah, a little bit nervous, guys." And I got out there, got on the horse, and the nerves settled a bit. But they showed a little bit throughout the race, but afterwards I was pretty wrapped with it all.
The racing community also wrapped. Tas Racing believes it's the first time a jockey has ever recorded 4 victories on the same day as a maiden win.
We're checking the record books, but we believe that to be a record.
Back home in Whitemore, 30 kilometres outside of Launceston, Boram plans to keep momentum going. She needs one more win to reduce her 4-kilogram claim, and in time she wants to feature on mainland fixtures. Trainer Nigel Shuring says she has what it takes.
As many rides as she possibly can. She's restricted only to 5 rides at the moment, but that'll go up per meeting as she gets more experience.
It's early days, but becoming a jockey was once just a dream. Now that bigger picture is starting to emerge.
There was never really any racing history in the family, but I sort of watched all the movies like Farlap and Seabiscuit, and it sort of got me keen.
Boram's next race is back in Devonport on August 27. Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
How many matchsticks does it take to build the Sydney Harbour Bridge? Well, one Tasmanian grandfather set out to discover just that. And along the way, he's also built some rather impressive creations.
Building the Colosseum out of matchsticks may not be everyone's idea of a relaxing pastime, but for Hardy Phelan, it's a craft he thoroughly enjoys.
The last few months I've been working nearly all day on it.
This latest creation, a spectacular model of the international icon, with intricacies only a steady hand could manage.
Nothing to do, when you've got nothing else on.
406,399 matchsticks went into making this masterpiece that took 6 years to create.
He's enjoyed doing this for many years now, and as we can see, he's become rather good at doing it as well.
Hardy started building these ships from a kit when he was 18. Now he creates these masterpieces, such as this sturdy Sydney Harbour Bridge structure, just from looking at a photo.
An amazing piece of art, and I think he deserves the recognition for it.
His proud grandson says since a child visiting his granddad, he's looked forward to seeing the progress on the creations.
He's always been extremely hard-working, which is something I know a lot of us like to pride ourselves on thinking we can do as well.
For Hardy, there's no time to rest. Next on the agenda is the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
Now let's take a look at the day's business and finance news with thanks to TasPlan, your local super fund. The Australian share market has closed higher on a day of mixed company earnings results, and as market heavyweights Commonwealth Bank and Suncorp fell as they traded ex-dividend. The ASX 200 index has risen by 27.6 points. A short time ago, the Australian dollar was trading at 78.3 US cents and 66.78 euro cents.
Tasmania's 2 remaining Seabull squads are preparing for their preliminary finals clashes this weekend. The Launceston Tornadoes are looking to expose Dandenong's depleted playing list, while the Hobart Chargers have home crowd support to get them over the line. The Chargers were beaten by Ballarat in the semi, but a double chance sees them take the stage against Dandenong on Friday night. Hobart has a 1-win, 1-loss record against the Rangers this season, but this is the one which matters. The Chargers are odds-on to win, courtesy of a home court advantage and consistent form from key players.
I think Tom Garlop coming back into the group now, as far as he's been in and out a little bit, but to play a few games in a row will certainly help us.
Garlop averages 19 points per game, bettered only by central target Mathiang Muo. Both stars will be hungry to get their revenge on Ballarat if they make it to the grand final.
We've been exceptional all season. We just got to make sure we win this one, and I'm very confident we can still win a championship this year.
The Launceston Tornadoes also face Dandenong, but it's on the Rangers' home deck. The team is focused on recovering from last weekend's Battle of Tasmania.
We put an extra training in, but we've got 8 days between the games too, so it's about keeping the girls doing the right things at the gym as well.
Taun's top guns, Lauren Mansfield, Taylor Roberts and Lauren Nicholson, could control this game. 2 of Dandenong's danger players will be missing in action.
When you're without 2 top quality WNBL players, it makes it easier to beat them, but they've still got more than enough firepower to beat anybody in the league.
Tip-off is on Sunday. The Tasmanian Roar has lost veteran Erin Burns for the upcoming Women's National Cricket League season, but the side retains Georgia Redmayne. 4 new players have been added to the squad, including locals Courtney Webb and Erin Fazakali.
Erin obviously more renowned for her batting, but we're really very impressed with how her bowling goes, and obviously being as tall as she is, hopefully will create a few issues and a few surprises, I think, for a lot of the teams this year.
My main goal is just to break into that playing 11 first, then go from there.
The Roar begins its WNCL season against Western Australia in October.
Good evening. On the day we remember the King. I can't believe we've been without Elvis Presley for 40 years now. In Memphis today, they're expecting a fine, clear 27 degrees for all the tributes around the world as well. Hobart 14, along with Burnie 13 for Launceston and Devonport. Well, the weather was all shook up today with lots of wind and showers statewide. Would have been better to have the weather return to sender, I reckon. 34 mils last night at Mount Victoria, the top fall, and 12 today at Cradle Valley. 16 the high, that was the temperature at Friendly Beaches, St Helens and King Island 15, Wynyard Grove, Flinders Island and Bushy Park 14, Low Head and Strawn 13 degrees. Let's look at the charts. Well, it's now or never, and there is a massive cloud moving away from the state over the Tasman ahead of the next cold front with more unstable air following. A band of cloud is streaking across the mainland, linked to a trough, the north of the continent mostly clear. On the close-up, open cellular cloud pushed over the state from the west, and you'd have had to have been on the edge of reality to think that things would warm up with that looking like that. Tomorrow, a strong westerly flow blows over the Bight with a trough moving over Tasmania and Victoria. Low pressure zones sit south of the Bight and further west, most of the mainland under a high, apart from that trough over southeast Queensland. West to northwesterly winds at 20 to 30 knots and to 35 knots over the south, swells to 5 metres in western waters. Gale warning from Tasman Island to St Helens Point, a strong wind warning for remaining coastal waters, a small craft wind alert for the lakes, and a warning to sheep graziers for the southeast. Now, if you want fine weather, you'd better grab your good luck charm, because Hobart, a shower or two and becoming windy, 13 degrees, 12 the top for Cygnet and showery for New Norfolk, and 12 as well. Launceston, a shower or two and 13. 13 for Devonport. Campbelltown, a shower or two and 12 degrees. Let's have a look at Burnie. Showers and early storm, 13 the top. Possible storm for Strawn, 11 and 12 degrees for Smithton. While for St Helens, mostly sunny, 14 the high, 15 for Swansea, a possible shower for Fingal, and 13. Now, what was always on my mind is how much snow is coming up. Well, down to 300 metres on Friday with showers, small hail and thunderstorms over a good part of the state. Now, I don't want to be cruel, but there'll be more cold weather on Saturday with showers in the west and south, snow to 500 metres, and on Sunday mainly fine after an early frost, a few showers over the west. A possible shower in Perth tomorrow, showers also for Adelaide and Melbourne, becoming windy in Sydney and 23 degrees, sunny though in Brisbane and 31. And if you're lonesome tonight, the weather's not going to help. Showers in Hobart at the moment, showers in Launceston and also Devonport. Time now to go back to Our Lady with the Wooden Heart, our devil in disguise. Joe, I've only got one thing to say to you. Oh, moody blue, tell me, am I getting through? Thank you very much.
That's the best weather ever. Thank you very much, Murph. I love it. And that's all we have for you for this Wednesday, the 16th of August. Thanks so much for your company. We'll have updates right throughout the evening, but for now, from the news team, good night.